Welcome to the Herb and Rick Social Hour. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ponderings and musings of Herb Reed and Rick Hammond as they explore various and sundry topics, ideas, and experiences. We join this week's conversation already in progress.
And here we go, Herb. You ready for another fine edition of the Herb and Rick Social Hour?
Let's do it, Rick.
All right.
It's been a minute, so get started.
All right, man. So if I remember right, you were telling me we were talking about the storms that blew through the other day. That's twice in daggum 2 weeks.
That we've had stuff that suddenly blew in, whether it's microburst or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
At least my house is still standing. Maybe just a little tad damage, but hey, we're still standing though. Did you get any damage?
I haven't looked close yet out there. I got damage from last time, so it's I say that from you remember about 10 years ago we had that bad hail that blew through here. That was a rough ride. So I have not checked out there this week. I hadn't had a chance. But let's see. The tornado warnings. We've had 2 in the last month. And the last one, did you get woke up? Were you up? Oh, you weren't. You were working.
Actually, I was working in Alabama doing the storm at the same time that y'all were getting hit.
That's right.
Up here, we were out already in that,
That's right.
Storm, in the eye of it, pretty much. So, lightning strikes.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Herbert was out there getting soaked.
That makes me nervous, man. When lightning starts popping, I'm outdoors.
Woo! It does, Rick. But when you're in that work mode, it's just... You're in just a different zone.
Look at him. He's a hero.
Hey. Now I'm just doing what I do.
You're doing that voodoo that you do. No, that's
Working the magic.
Man, it was like 3:30 in the morning.
Well, let me ask you something, Rick. Do those songs actually wake y'all up? I mean, just...
Yeah, it did me because my ears are perked. When I start hearing thunder popping, I'm usually checking the news to make sure it's not going to be. But see, we went to bed. They said on the weather it wasn't going to be bad at all. Mainly some straight line winds and some, maybe some pea-sized hail.
And that's how it is. They downplay a lot. I just say pay attention to nature, the animals, the insects.
Well, what animals y'all got in the house? You don't have any right now. You ate your rabbit.
We didn't eat him. Somebing else ate the thing. But yeah, I don't listen to the weatherman that much anymore.
Well,
because
my point is, I think they usually play it up. Like, oh, you better keep an eye on us because it's going to get crazy. But they said that night it wasn't going to be bad. And doggone it, and I could hear the sirens. Y'all don't hear them over there?
And the girls keying you every now and then. And I'm thinking, if you have noticed within the past few years, they've changed the tones of those sirens.
Yeah.
Used to be high pitched, but I think they sort of tested to where I guess it can tweak to get into that sleeping mind, so to speak, to wake you up. I mean, because some people, a long time they would sleep right through them, but somehow with this one, after it's going off for several minutes, it penetrates.
It sounds to me like the Battle of Britain. I mean, it sounds like those old sirens that they had for air raid. It's kind of nerve-wracking for me. Our house is a daggum, made out of matchsticks, basically, and balsa wood. Remember balsa planes you used to fly when you was a kid? You get a little plane, you don't remember those?
What year was that?
I would rather not say.
I've got to pick with you, Rick.
That might age me here in front of everybody.
But, yeah, speaking of construction, Rick, these houses now, that they're the frames with gusset plates and everything.
What's a gusset plate?
Let's just say how
is
we
that
used
a right word?
Drive nail.
Is it real?
Hold on. Gusset plates. Gusset. I think I pronounced it right.
All right. What is that?
That's what they use to take the place of nails, Rick. They're long, flat.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes,
thing.
And if you ever looked up in your attic and seen that
stuff up there.
Oh yeah, that's
seems
what you
kind
got.
of shoddy to me, but I guess
if
it all
seems
holds together.
shoddy, it could be.
Go with your gut.
Go with your gut, and I mean,
I've seen that. I didn't know what that was called.
That construction now that they're building things with. I mean, sometimes I just care not to look, but me being nosy and curious.
Well, you're a fireman, so you got to go in houses that have been burnt. And you probably see the frames and stuff of many a house.
Yeah, pre-fire plan the scene. Things of that nature. It's not quality built like it was years ago. Like over 20-something years ago. I mean, these houses were sturdy built, but then again, now you got that cheaper construction, and all that. Houses go up a whole lot quicker.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah, our house was still standing during the storm. Like I said,
well, your girls called
damage.
you, right? Because you were down at work.
Oh yeah,
and Mom wasn't at home either.
they called me. Dorita was at work.
Where was Kalen?
He was having his car worked on at the time.
At 3 a.m?
Well, no, this was yesterday. Yesterday.
Oh, that set of storms at Luther yesterday.
I'm sorry, Rick,
that
but
wasn't as bad. Those were severe thunderstorms.
Right, and I think it just, like I said, a little isolated thing hit. It took the trampoline for a minute, then it took the patio table and chairs and blew down, different places.
Where did that? You're trying to tell me where did that? What happened to the trampoline? It ended up in a unique place.
The way that they
neighbor's
explained
yard.
it, I guess it took off and hovered. Hover.
There you go.
Like a UFO and went to the neighbor's yard. And I guess about 10 minutes later, we're thinking, my wife was like, well, call the neighbors. Is it over there? And they happened to look out. It was nowhere to be found.
That's amazing.
And next thing you know, she sent her, her boys out, and they hunted for it. And it happened to be a couple of 2 houses down, nice, set down. I mean, perfectly.
Nothing wrong with it.
No.
You moved it back. It's good to go.
All intact. They moved it back. Mighty good little young neighbors.
That's amazing.
Girls were happy. I was happy, so everybody's living. The house is still standing. The trampoline is still intact.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because all I was mainly concerned was, my dog, he doesn't like thunder. He doesn't like fireworks. Anything loud booms like that, he goes into just a quivering gel of a terrier.
I'm glad I'm not over here popping fireworks anymore, Rick, because I would feel bad.
Well, we used to not
Archie.
think that much about it, but I think one night, Jeremy used to live next door, and he used to get those big mortar things that would be literally like you were in war.
I mean, he had the big commercialized sounding things. Yes.
And so Archie followed me out one July 4th evening just after dark as everybody was gathering out on the street. You know how we did. And boom, boom, you know how they do, right? So he dashes back in the house and into his crate, didn't get him out the rest of the night. And pretty much ever since then, he has been horrified of any kind of thunder or fireworks.
And it's pretty much a lot of dogs that wait in it, Rick. I mean, they sort of get shy. They get in that house, they hover down with the big eyes and just trim her.
Yeah, Lily will hold him, wrap him up like a burrito and hold him, but, it helps some, I guess.
He's the baby, you know what I mean? So
yeah, he's a good dog, though. He's been a really good dog for us. You said y'all about to get one, you thinking?
It's going to be a minute. It's something we have to work out with the wife. The girls want
Have you
one.
picked a breed?
I think I'm going to stick with the Huskies. And that
Dude,
family.
that's a big one.
We had one, Rick, but...
Oh, you did? I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had to get rid of them. Just certain things happen.
I vaguely do, man. He got a little snappy, didn't he?
Well, he was overprotective of the girls. And just certain things, escalate.
So the neighbor kids would come over and they would lose limbs?
They wouldn't lose... No, they wouldn't lose limbs, so to speak. But she was very protective of the girls,
Yeah.
And she just happened to protect one of the girls one day, and somebody just got a little bit too close to her, and she just fell through. It was just a warning thing, but I treated it like the rest of it. Poor dog walked off in handcuffs. Like a criminal, looking back mad.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
What was the name? I forgot the name of it.
Rocky.
That's right, Rocky.
But Rocky was a female, though, okay?
Yeah,
but
I don't know how'd y'all mess that up?
I'm not one to take a personal look.
Okay. Well,
but she ended up being a female, and just certain thing, And
well, I think I've heard of some girls going.
Yeah, my little four-legged pet walked off in handcuffs. And,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna go for another one of them? You kept Rocky outside though, didn't you? A lot.
She was an outdoor dog, Rick, but she was well behaved. She
I don't remember.
Let's just say when the girls were out front, when they were smaller, she would circle to keep them in the yard. She had that motherly instinct, so to speak. And never was a bad dog. Even if the gate sometimes, some people accidentally leave it open and she was sitting in the front and wouldn't mess with anybody. Just stay there until we get home.
I remember Rocky.
Yeah, so I do miss her, and I told him, I'd rather have something along that line because she was a real good dog to her.
Yeah, I do. I remember she was kind of neat. Had a few cookouts over there, and she was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, she was, and like I said, the only thing she would bark when it's trying, or if she was not used to you, she'll let out an alarm, so to speak.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, I want to change gear to the subject you were mentioning earlier, which was, what was that? It was pets and their owners. Speaking of pets, here we go.
And I'm not making fun of you and Archie, okay?
Well, right.
Let's just get that clear, so
No,
to speak.
I'm with you. Archie, he's a good boy.
Rick, I mean, let's just say pets are like kids.
That's
Okay,
a lot of
so
people
to
do
speak.
go there with it, yeah.
But I had this buddy I went to visit the other day. Went by his house, and I think it's a mutt. He didn't look like a purebred.
Right.
But the dog looked exactly like him.
Oh,
Rick,
that
Rick,
old
Rick,
thing. Right, the old pets look like it. So you're saying I look like Archie?
No, I didn't say that. Archie, turn around. Let me look at your eyes, buddy. But if you put a set of glasses on this dog and a hat, because it's got a little scruffy goat. Oh, the dog had one too, Rick. And then
That's great. That's always funny when they do that.
But I mean, have you ever noticed that? Am I the only one?
No. That's the phenomenon people talk about. I think you can probably find internet pictures of people and their pets that look alike. You can probably Google that and find tons of pictures like that.
Well, I seen one of Snoop Dogg had somebody's dots and looking exactly like him on it. I mean, you couldn't even tell them apart, Rick.
Great.
Yeah, he said with the 4 and 2 legs and the floppy ears.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I just got to think, I said, it's a good topic because I wonder how many people exactly realize it. But I think you can line up the owners and their pets and mix them up. I can probably match it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good idea. That's a good mix.
But if you ever look at the dogs, if you look at the eyes, that's the first thing that began to take on the owner's looks. And it was like,
okay,
dude, that was amazing.
So you had any other ones like that you had noticed before?
Now, after I realize it's a few
what
that
about
I could.
Cats? They don't do that as much, do they?
Cats are so mysterious. They can look like anything.
Can they
But
morph?
normally, it's man's best friend is the dog that because he's closer to you. He's more.
He's gonna bark when there's a fire
Right,
in the house
he's more
or somebody's
faithful.
breaking in a cat.
Cats
Now,
are-
cats do a little of that sometimes. They'll wake up an owner in an emergency,
And
but
they're
it's rare.
weird. Cats are weird. You're working with their paw scratching all in the eyes sometimes.
So
you just never know about
We've
cats.
just cut out all the cat lovers out there. They're not going to listen to these podcasts anymore because
We're not saying that we
are
don't love
ragging on
cats, people. We
there
do
are some
appreciate 'em.
interesting cats out there. I've seen a few that I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Oh, there's one in the neighborhood, Rick. Two little girls got.
Is it a pharaoh?
This is not a feral cat. Egyptian cat, Pharaoh. But this cat is he will walk these 2 little girls to the bus stop like a dog.
Right.
Follow them, sit there until they get on the bus, and all you gotta do is go and point, and there you go, just like a dog,
Really?
back home and get back. Yes,
That's
I've
kinda cool.
never seen that, Rick.
Now, if they would be more like that, I would be inclined to be
I would probably have a couple.
check
of them.
them out. And the cat owners, they always claim that they want them not. They like their independence. They like that their cats are very independent.
And they are, so to speak. I mean, they're private, they're personal. Some of them, if they're trained right.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine when I was growing up. He lived up the street from us on Hillbeck, and his neighbor across the street went out of town, and he had to go feed the cats. And he thought he was just the animal wrangler of all animals.
So with
He's the
these-
same friend that had the raccoon.
Oh, the bandit.
Yeah, so he said, I'm going to go over and feed. My neighbor's gone. And she's gone for the weekend. I got to go feed these cats. Follow me over here. And so, I mean, she had like a back porch full of like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, so they were outdoor cats then.
Well, I think she had put them on her. It's a like an enclosed back.
I got like
patio
a string
room.
patio type thing. Okay.
So and they may have had a door to go in and out, but all he had to do was go in there and feed them. And there was one that was particularly not friendly, so he thought somehow he was going to wrangle it and show it. He didn't need to be afraid. And this thing took back feet and front feet and was shaving, just clawing his forearm.
Oh, so it pretty much whooped your friend up.
It did, and he was mad.
Well, who wouldn't have been mad?
Because he thought he was, who was it? Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom on all things animal related.
But these cats, like, they're mysterious, Rick, and they can kick butt if you make them. And sometimes you aggravate them the wrong way or have a certain.
And he did.
Yeah, get him off of me. I can't see her hair.
Yeah, it was quite amusing because at that age it was like anything that happened to your friend that was painful to your friend was funny.
Oh, it went to those things wrap around that leg and those claws and come
have you
circling
seen that
up.
one? You seen that YouTube video of that guy trying to
I seen that, and I also seen a police officer with the same thing.
in real life?
Yes, I mean that the cat, they get the cats, and then they just happen to with gloves. And sometimes they try to live, and the cats just circle around like a snake, claws and teeth, and just yank. Oh, what happened? Oh,
it didn't go that far with him. It just did the whole razor thing with the thing. But I've seen that on video where they.
And that has happened.
I would find myself striking it violently to get it off.
Rick, at that point in time, you're in shock. You're in awe at this little mysterious feline just going at you.
Inflicting pain.
Yes, you're just in shock because you stand. And nothing you can do.
So what did the cops? He's got a gun. He could have popped it.
He wasn't gonna pop it. I mean, she was a female, but not knocking her. I mean, she
can't shoot a female cat.
She
screamed like a doe. He can't shoot.
Well, she screamed a little bit. I mean, she's probably a pet lover too, but I'm gonna sit here and take it.
Oh, the owner was female.
The cop.
Oh, the cop.
Yes. I guess she was one of these animal cops.
Loved them and didn't want to.
Somehow this thing got out of the little loop thing and just.
What? You need to keep your phone on ready for anytime you're going into these big emergencies.
Rick, I can't do that.
We can make millions on YouTube with all the hits.
We did have one, like I say, I don't mention names, and being the service that I am, we do get calls for cats and trees. And we did have this one guy had a cat, and I guess it was, I don't know, probably 50 yards from his house, was like across the creek, over some thickets, and down a railroad track. And how we found this thing after the storm, I don't know, Rick. He found it, and it was probably about, I don't know, you're probably looking 8 or 10 foot up in a tree, and he found this cat, called us, so we had to hike about half of a mile down the tracks. And got this thing out. So we had one of the smaller guys skim up the trees because it was smaller. He was more of a,
he drew the short straw just by his own height.
He picked it, put on his protective equipment, and he got the cat out. And we warned the guy because the cat was clawed onto his gloves. I mean, just like it was part of his hand at this point in time, just. And so the guy was like, well, sir, you may want to go. If we let him go, he'll probably go home. And the guy was like, no, I'll take him. She's okay. So the guy didn't have any protection. It was his cat. So next thing you know, being nice, handed the cat back off to him. And we sit there, job well done. And this guy got to walk. And next thing you know, oh, baby, no. And you heard this, baby, no. That cat sit there and scratched his ear up.
Oh, man.
It tore up his head and it leaped and it left. I mean,
see?
Oops, baby, no, baby.
See, that's the whole thing. Right there is cats in a nutshell for me. They're unpredictable.
They're different. They can be friendly, but they're unpredictable. They're mysterious.
But we don't hate them. And that'll be a great way to wrap up this show. Thank you very much.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's Herb and Rick Social Hour.